welcome back for our third and final part of our Taking an Infant to Disney. Today we're going to be talking about taking our 1-year-old.
Yeah.
So, this was our soonest trip. So, it is January right now. So, this trip was almost 4 months ago. About 4 months ago at this point. And so, this is our most recent one. So, there's a couple of things that we did different. There's some things that we did that we probably should have done differently. So, actually, the first one pertains to that. So, number one, this is similar to one that we talked about last time, but it is even more pertinent now. So, bring a supportive carrier if you're baby wearing. It got really bad because Aiden weighed
20 pounds.
About 20 pounds to 21 pounds at the time. And we had just a soft carrier for him that her mom had made. It's like a sling. A sling.
It's a sling carrier.
And holy smokes.
I had brought that carrier because it's easier to get him in and out of, and he was starting to walk, so I was like, he's going to want to be out a little bit. Yeah. And honestly, I should have just brought the Ergo because
it was bad.
Yeah, it was. Oh, I know why else I brought the sling. I brought the sling because he wanted to look out. He doesn't like facing in on the Ergo anymore.
Yeah, he wants to look around and everything. And with this carrier, he could.
And so I brought that, and it honestly was the worst decision I have ever made in my life.
We were both exhausted. Actually, when we got back, the day after we got back, we both got sick.
Yeah.
Because we were just so exhausted and worn out.
Yeah, it was really rough, and that's like the biggest thing is just bring the Ergo.
Yeah, bring a supportive carrier. It's going to help you. It's going to help the kid.
Yeah, it really, honestly, that was like one of the worst decisions I could have made. Like if it was just a short term, like I was telling him, like our next trip, like where I may be only carrying him like through ride lines or something like that, I might bring the sling again just because it'll be just for a short period of time. Anything more than 20 minutes, you shouldn't use a sling carrier. It is so uncomfortable after a while.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Mm-hmm. Number 2 would be know your baby's napping habits / schedule. Now, so this can come down to you may need to plan resort trips back to your resort room if you need to. We didn't need to just because Aiden does really well sleeping in the carrier. Falling asleep in the carrier. But it's know your baby's napping habits. So if your child does not really nap in the carrier, like doesn't fall asleep in the carrier
or stroller,
then you might be one of those people that needs to plan on going back to the resort around your baby's nap time. So if you're, for instance, Aiden, usually his nap time is noon or 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we would have to take him back to the resort about noon or 1 o'clock, let him take a nap until like usually about 3:30. He usually sleeps for about 2.5 hours. And then, so know their habits and schedule.
Yeah.
Because like I said, for us, he was just sleep in the carrier.
Yeah.
If he was tired enough, he just fell asleep.
Right. But not everybody's like that. Not all babies are like that.
Yeah. Don't expect every baby to be the same. Mm-hmm. Just because somebody else's baby, you walk past somebody whose baby's asleep in the carrier, doesn't mean your kid's going to go to sleep in the carrier. They might just start chewing on the carrier instead. Because that does happen. Number 3. Don't do more than you can. Disney is a lot. For adults and kids, but especially for kids, especially at that young of an age, Disney is a lot to take in. There are constantly things going on. It's
a lot of stimulation.
Very high on the stimulation. It's very high on the excitement. So it is going to wear your kids out. And so that's kind of goes into the nap time and everything too.
Like, don't try and push it.
Don't try and push it. Also, pay attention to your kids. Like, as parents, you know when they're tired. You can see it. You can see it in how they act, in how they're walking. Like, even at a year old with Aiden, we can tell when he's ready for a nap. He starts rubbing his eyes. He starts kind of moving a little. So he'll lean his head on you, which he doesn't really do. So, just pay attention to their signs that show that they're kind of exhausted.
Yeah, and just really don't push it, because I think that's the biggest thing that I see when there's, like, a mom or a dad who's mad at a baby and the baby's throwing a tantrum. is because the baby's tired and the parents are tired, and
Everybody's
everybody
tired.
just needs a nap.
Yeah, everybody just needs a nap. And I guess
So
that could be part of it too, is like pay attention to if you're the one who needs a nap.
just don't try and push yourself to do things and get all this stuff done,
Yeah.
because in the end it's not worth it to push yourself into sheer exhaustion and be angry and frustrated and ruin your vacation because
Yeah.
you spend the whole time yelling at each other.
Yeah, it can be really bad. Don't be that family at Disneyland that got in a fight with each
Fist
other.
fight. No,
Don't be them.
just go home. Just go back to the resort.
Yeah, don't go home. Like
Well, the resort is home. Go back to the resort and take a freaking nap. Don't push yourself. Or go back to the resort for an early night. Like,
Yeah.
don't stay there for 14 hours and cry in the bathroom.
Yeah. Again, like, I don't know. You pay attention. It's going to be tiring.
Yeah.
Especially if you're baby wearing.
Yeah.
You are going to get worn out. I mean, even pushing a stroller. Like, pushing a stroller is also tiring after a while.
Or chasing a toddler.
Chasing a toddler around, like you're having to try to keep up with them, and it's not only are you like running after them, but it's also stressful because there's lots of people. It is very easy for them to get lost.
Yeah. So just take the naps.
Number 4, lots of fluids.
Oh
Very important, especially in Florida. There's a lot of dogs.
yeah.
No, there's a lot of humidity, and that humidity will seep all of the fluids out of you. So the humidity in Florida will drain your body of fluids.
And the heat is just wicked.
And, yeah. So you will be sweating constantly because when it's humid, you will sweat more, and it will dehydrate you. So make sure you are drinking lots of fluids, and make sure that your 1-year-old is drinking lots of fluids.
Because after a year, they usually nurse quite a bit less. Or if you're
Mhm.
formula feeding, you're probably not formula feeding as often, or if at all. And so you really want to push those fluids. Make sure they're drinking plenty of water, because you don't need them to be dehydrated. And it's something that's easy to forget, especially when they're still so little and they can't really tell you
Yeah.
that they're thirsty, at least in that many words. It's kind of easy to forget that they need to drink some water. So make sure that you are remembering anytime you are taking a drink of water, see if they want some too.
They probably will.
Yeah.
So just make sure you keep up on that. So number 5 is continue to utilize the baby care centers. There are some people that kind of like don't use them as much as their baby gets a little older, and that's not necessary. You can continue to use them. There were some people who were going into the baby care centers with kids that were 5-6 years old. And so like I said the last time, it's a good place to just kind of get out of the heat and let them run around. Depending on the baby care center, like I said, the Animal Kingdom one has a big area,
like sitting area
that they can like run around in. They can they can just sit down at one of the tables. Like you can bring coloring books for them if you want to, and they can just like color.
They were playing a movie in there, so
yes, yeah, there was a movie playing in there as well.
So they can watch a movie while they're in there. I think actually all of them have a TV.
Yeah, so continue to utilize those because they, even at this point, they are still useful.
Yep.
Again, get you out of the heat. Gives you a nice, cool area to maybe feed the kid if you want to, like nurse them.
Sit down,
if you
have
want
a
to.
snack.
Just sit down and have a snack. But yeah, just kind of gives them and you a break. So continue to utilize those because there's no rule that says that you can't use them if your baby's not nursing or any of these other things. You can go in there.
And there's still those microwaves and stuff. So if you have like a snack or something that needs to be microwaved, if you have like one of the like microwavable like ravioli cups or whatever, you can go in there and microwave their food for them and stuff like that.
Yeah. And our 6th and final one is just kind of a fun one. Know your kid's favorite characters. So, and if you're not somebody who like has your kid watching, Disney shows and stuff all the time, they may not have a favorite until you actually like go up and meet some of them. But for in Aiden's case, when he is staying at her mom's house while we're working, he's watching Disney Junior
Mhm.
all the time. And now that Disney Plus is out, we play some of the shows for him that he really likes. So when we took him when he was a year old, we knew which characters he liked. He liked Mickey and Minnie, and Donald and Daisy, and Pluto, and Goofy. And then he also really had this affinity for Vampirina and Fancy Nancy. So kind of the main core of Disney characters, and then a couple Disney Junior characters.
Mhm.
For the most part, he liked all of them because he just loves seeing those characters in the costumes for some reason. We're not sure why.
Yeah, he's not too
But-
big on like face characters,
Yeah.
but he loves the costume
Yes.
characters.
The only costume character that he didn't really care for was Wreck-It Ralph. He loved Vanellope,
Yeah.
but
I
for some
know.
reason he was just like kind of meh on Wreck-It Ralph. But it's just really fun when you know the characters that they really like. So in his case, like Vampirina, he loved Vampirina, and he recognized her,
Yeah.
and we saw her. We did a meet and greet with her, and then we also saw her at the Halloween party in Magic Kingdom. They were doing a dance party, a
Yeah.
Disney Junior kind of dance party thing, and Vampirina, Fancy Nancy, and Timon were all in there, and we put him down, just let him wander around a little bit, and he ran over towards Vampirina, and at one point he dropped his pacifier, and Timon saw it, and he picked it up and was going to give it back to him, and Aiden was just ignoring Timon. Completely ignored Timon, so I took the pacifier back, and Timon kept trying to get Aiden's attention, and he just did not care. It was really funny. He just wanted Vampirina. And Vampirina kneeled down and was just like on her knees and was like dancing around, and they're not allowed to pick up the children or anything. Partially because those masks that they have on are huge, and also liability issues. And Aiden kept walking up to Vampirina and doing this thing. Yeah, he was like, I went up. And so I actually went up to him while he was next to Vampirina, and I was like, no, Vampirina can't pick you up. And Vampirina goes, because she didn't realize that that's what he wanted.
Yeah.
But he absolutely loved her, and so his reactions to that were great. Also, Mickey and Minnie. He loves Mickey and Minnie.
Oh yeah, he does.
And so we were really excited for him to meet Mickey because he was walking at the time, and I was like, I want to get some pictures and a video of him walking up to Mickey. That's what I wanted. And so
Well.
we went to meet Mickey and Minnie in Magic Kingdom because they were meeting together at that point for the 90th
celebration.
90th birthday celebration, and they had special outfits on, which were really cool. And so we're in line and everything because it was a 20-minute wait, and so we were like, okay, let's go meet him. So
It wasn't a 20-minute wait, was it?
that was what the sign said. It was a 20-minute wait.
Oh.
Yeah. It was also partially because the Halloween meet and greets were about to start, so everybody was getting in line for those as opposed to Mickey and Minnie.
Gotcha.
So, so we get up to the front of the line, and Aiden saw Mickey as soon as we got in the door, but we had to wait because, we're still in line. And we get up, and it was our turn next, and Anna puts Aiden down on the floor after I started recording, and Mickey gets down on one knee, and is holding his arms out like this. He's like, all right, yeah, come here. And so Aiden starts walking towards, it's really cute, Aiden starts walking towards Mickey. And Mickey's just sitting there, he's nodding and everything. I might try to see if I can find that clip again, if I have it all added in. Yeah, and he walks towards him, and as he's about to get to Mickey, and Mickey's nodding, he turns and goes around Mickey and goes over to Minnie, and Mickey sits there the whole time and is like, what are you doing? And then he looks where he's going and sees that he's going to Minnie, and he's like, oh, okay. Yeah, he went around Mickey to go to Minnie. Yeah, go get him. We didn't expect that to happen.
No, we did not.
But that's just one of those things. Like, if you know your kid's favorite character, like, go and find that character. Spend some time with that character. It is a lot of fun to see their reaction. And you'll also find out who their actual favorite characters are, because apparently Minnie is his. Apparently it's not Mickey, it's Minnie. Yeah, and it's really fun to see your kids, especially your 1-year-old's reaction when they see their favorite characters.
Because it's so genuine, and
yeah,
they don't understand that that's not the
that
real
that's not
size.
that it's not the real size. They also don't know that it's like not a real, like the character's not a real, like the whole magic is still intact for them. You know, us as adults, we're like, oh, it's a person in a costume. To the kids, that is Mickey, that is Woody, that is Olaf, that is who it is to them. You know,
and that magic is just
I mean,
amazing to see.
even for us going there, it's still like we treat it like, oh hey, make it like we treat it like it's the actual characters, because like that's, even for the adults, that's part of the magic.
Yeah.
You know, and
it's
so
going there and being a kid.
And being a kid again, yeah. So it's a lot of fun. So just know your kids' favorite characters and make a point to go and meet those characters.
Yeah, make those priorities.
Their reactions to their favorite characters are just amazing. So make time for those ones. So that is our list of tips on taking a 1-year-old to Disney. So maybe at the end of this year we'll be going to Disney World again, and Aiden will be 2 years old at the time, and so we will probably do another video at that point to let you know how it went and to kind of give you some tips on how what you should or shouldn't do. So
we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. So until then, we will see you all in the next video.